there is major fallout after the most recent episode of SmackDown, as WWE has made a shocking decision about the Bloodline. This is breaking news, so let's go ahead and get into the full details right now. Roman Reigns has a part-time contract, which means he is rarely on TV, and he was nowhere to be seen on the most recent episode of SmackDown. But SmackDown GM Nick Aldis gave an ultimatum to the Bloodline: find a third man to go up against the team of Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight. Solo, Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso would be tasked with finding a third member. But the problem was, Roman was supposedly not going to be on the show. But fans wondered, could this be a swerve? And in the main event, the third man for the Bloodline team is actually going to be revealed as Roman Reigns. And the third man teaming with the Bloodline ended up being no one. There was no third man. Nobody showed up to be their tag team partner. Instead, the Bloodline decided to try and make it a 2-on-2 match. So they attacked Randy Orton during his entrance, injuring him, and he had to be taken to the back to be checked out. Earlier in the night, to start the show, the Bloodline decided to attack Cameron Grimes as he was about to have a match with Grayson Waller. This is because Paul Heyman wanted to speak about Bloodline business, but Paul Heyman was immediately shut down by SmackDown GM Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis said that he was sick and tired of the Bloodline attacking anyone and everyone, and that it needed to stop. But the Bloodline did not listen as they attacked Randy Orton at the end of the show. What kind of consequences could the Bloodline face for attacking two different wrestlers on SmackDown? Of course, when SmackDown had a triple threat scheduled a while back between Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight, Roman and the Bloodline attacked all three wrestlers. So these attacks have been going on for a while, and it seems that Nick Aldis has had enough of the Bloodline's antics, and he has made a surprising decision about the Bloodline, and Roman Reigns is not happy about it. When Triple H appointed Nick Aldis as the GM of SmackDown, did Triple H know that he was going to go after Roman Reigns and the Bloodline? And does Triple H regret giving Nick Aldis so much power, especially when that power controls the number one star not only in WWE, but in all of wrestling? Triple H has kept quiet on this subject, but somebody who has not kept quiet about this is Roman Reigns. He feels that the Bloodline and himself are being unfairly targeted by Nick Aldis. And you have to wonder, what is Nick Aldis's motivation for wanting to take down Roman and the Bloodline? Is it that he thinks Roman and the Bloodline have an unfair advantage, that they don't follow the rules? Well, you can look at any episode of WWE TV and you can say somebody broke the rules, and rarely do they get punished. But with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, it seems that Nick Aldis is doing everything he can to punish the Bloodline almost on a weekly basis. And as we roll into 2024, that is not going to change. In fact, it's going to get even worse, especially with the shocking announcement that Nick Aldis made after the most recent episode of SmackDown. Going into 2024, the Bloodline was decimated. They lost Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. And to make matters worse, Roman Reigns rarely made appearances in WWE. So for the last few months, it's been up to Jimmy Uso, Solo, and Paul Heyman to keep the Bloodline going, while Roman made very few appearances. But in 2024, that was all supposed to change. Roman was scheduled to make many more appearances this year compared to last year. But now with SmackDown GM making what the Bloodline would call a disturbing decision, now Roman appearing in WWE in 2024 may not happen again, as we won't see Roman nor the Bloodline for a very long time, if ever again. Shortly after SmackDown went off the air, GM Nick Aldis released a statement saying that he has had enough of the Bloodline ruining SmackDown each and every week. He had hoped that things would change in 2024, but with the attack by the Bloodline on the Triple Threat match and the attacks on the most recent episode of SmackDown on Cameron Grimes and Randy Orton, Nick Aldis says he was left with only one decision, and that decision is to suspend the Bloodline, all three members, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso, effective immediately. But one name who was spared in this suspension is the wise man to Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, Paul Heyman. Some might think that's a good thing. Paul Heyman can still be on SmackDown, still be in WWE, still conduct Bloodline business. The problem is, Roman Reigns is not going to like the fact that the Bloodline was suspended, but not Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman might have to pay a hefty price for being spared by Nick Aldis. And we don't know how long this suspension is. Nick Aldis did not make that clear. Right now, it's indefinite, meaning it could be for a week, it could be for a month, a year, or forever. It seems like Nick Aldis simply wanted the Bloodline gone. And right now, he has got his wish, as the Bloodline will not be able to make any WWE appearances until the suspension is lifted. But right now, it doesn't seem like that is going to happen anytime soon. Which member of the Bloodline is your favorite? And do you miss Sami Zayn and Jey Uso? And what are your thoughts about SmackDown GM Nick Aldis suspending the Bloodline? Leave a comment below and give me your opinion. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell notification. And check out our new YouTube channel, Wrestling News Now Insider. Click on the link to visit it now, and you will get brand new exclusive videos.